For the year. This will change based on injuries, preseason, all those kinds of things. I will give you the over-unders for the season. It goes in alphabetical order, not division, so you're going to have to follow it. And I'll give you what the VIGs are because that's important, the VIGs. I mean, the idea that the VIG isn't important is absurd. You could sit there, hey, that sounds good. Then you realize if you don't get it right, you're going to get killed with the VIG. So I will throw that in as well to keep it going. All right, Arizona last year, they won 8. This year, their over-under number is 5.5. Very low for Arizona, 5.5. But again, if you play the over, which is what you got to do in that bet, they have quarterbacks and everything else. They got to put a good defense. If you play the over, it's minus 150. So if you play the over and don't get it, you're going to pay times and a half. So keep that in mind. But Arizona's a low number. I can see making a run at them. Their quarterback play should be better. And obviously, new coach and everything else. They have some good players. Fitzgerald's still there. There you go. Atlanta last year won 10. This year, they're under number is 9, and their over is minus 130. So, they're usually around 9 or 9.5 every year. I lost on them last year with an under, and it was at 9.5, and they beat me in week 17 against Carolina. This year it's at 9 at minus 130. I would take the over on that, and I take a chance. Baltimore, last year they won 9. This year their over-under number is 8. The over minus is 145. The under is plus 125. I don't know why they think the Ravens are going to be so decent with that over VIG, but if you go over, it's minus 145 at 8. Buffalo, we discussed already with their schedule, very difficult, 6.5 for the Bills, and their under rate, though, is minus 190. So although their schedule is impossible, 5 out of their first 7 on the road, Green Bay, Minnesota on the road. If you play the under, which is the way to go, if you don't get it, you're going to pay double. Minus 190 at 6.5. Last year, Buffalo won 9. Carolina is at 8.5. Last year, they won 11. It's pretty much the same either direction at 8.5. Minus 120 for the over there. Bears, last year, they won 5. This year, their over-under number is 6.5. And if you go over that, it's minus 135. That is about right for the Bears. Cincinnati, last year, Cincinnati over-under number was 7. This year, it's 6.5. Boy, the Bengals way down there. They're due for a bounce back. If you play the over, it's not going to kill you with the VIG at minus 125. The Browns, we know they didn't win a game last year. I think the Browns might be competitive. It's 5.5. That might be a little too high, and it's minus 145. So you probably got to lay off the Browns. Dallas last year won 9. This year it's 8.5. And it's pretty much both ways at minus 110. Dallas. So do they get 9? If they do and you take the over, you got a chance. Denver is at 7.5. And if you go over with Denver, they are plus 115. Denver last year was terrible. This year they figure a little more competitive. Case Keenum, he's always got a little something to prove. 7.5. Broncos go 500. You win your bet. Lions last year were 9. They won. This year it's 7.5. The over is minus 120. The under is probably about the same. No, the under is about even money. The Lions at 7.5. I don't know where to go there. Green Bay sounds like a good bet to me. 10 is your over-under number for the Packers. It's plus 110 if you go the over. It's minus 130 if you go the under. Obviously, a guy like the quarterback's got to stay healthy. Never have a great defense, we see. Houston. Last year, they only won 4 games. This year, it's 8.5. That's a good bet. Division's winnable. Hard schedule, but it's minus 160. So if you go the over and you don't get 9, you're going to get pounded. Colts last year, they were terrible. They only won 4. This year, it's 6.5. Minus 120 is the over. You want to take a run at Andrew Luck. The price is not terrible. Jacksonville's at 9. Last year they won 10. This year it's at 9. Minus 110 for Jacksonville. Chiefs are 8.5. Last year they won 10. Their number this year is 8.5. It's plus 105 on the over side. Chargers. I like the Chargers, but so does the world. 9.5 for San Diego. That's a huge number for them to have the Chargers win 10 games. They are never consistent enough. That is their number there. The other LA team, the Rams, they're 10, and they're at plus 105. So the Rams and Chargers are both around 10, and both at pluses, but you got to have good years. Miami should stink. 6.5 is their number. If you take the under, it's plus 100. Minnesota's at 10 after 13 a year ago, minus 120 on the over with Minnesota. Patriots are 11. You know, you're not going to get a good price with New England, minus 155. So if you go over New England and you don't get it, you're going to get killed. If you take the under 11, I don't know why you would in that division, but if you did take the under, it's plus 135. Saints at 9.5, minus 120, a la Atlanta. Who knows? Giants are 7. This is a good play. Last year, the Giants were terrible. They won 3 games. They have to be better than that. Beckham and Barkley with the quarterback, if he's healthy and good, 125, the over you pay. Not terrible. That's a good bet. Jets at 6. Last year they won 5. This year it's at 6, plus 120. Raiders are 8, not the 8.5 that Steve said, but it's minus 130. It's minus 130. It's plus 110 if you like the under. That's not terrible. The under at plus 110 for Oakland. Eagles are 10.5 off a 13-win season. The over is plus 120. The under is at minus 140, so they think the Eagles are going to come back to earth a little bit. Pittsburgh's at 10.5. They're at plus 110. San Francisco is 8.5. I could see them being respectable, but they're at minus 115. Seattle, I could see Seattle having a bad year. 8 is their number. The under is minus 125. Tampa is 6.5. Last year they won 5. No quarterback, 3 games, plus 125. Tennessee's at 8, even both ways, minus 110, minus 110. And the Redskins are at 7 at plus 120. Boy. This is never easy. If I had to give you 3 or 4 that I like, top of my head, and I'll eliminate the VIG. I'll eliminate it. I think Arizona, they have 2 quarterbacks. I think Rosen's going to be good. Division's not impossible. Not an impossible team in there. Arizona 5.5, I think, is a decent play. That's 1. I think that the Giants at 7 is a good play. You have to figure they'll bounce back. You think they can win 8 games. They got a tough first half of the schedule, very hard. But 7 for the Giants, I think, is a decent play. That's number 2. I think Houston's worth it. Steve, I'll go along with him. I like them better odds to win the AFC, but they should win 9 games if everybody is healthy in that division. I think that's a decent play. That's 3. I think Denver is a decent play. I trust Elway. I like the quarterback. He's got a big chip on his shoulder. You only have to go 8-8. The division is not impossible. I can see Denver being respectable. That's about 3 teams I gave you, right? I gave you Denver, I gave you the Giants, and I gave you Arizona. Wow. I could see taking the Redskins. Last year the Redskins won 7. This year their number is at 7. It's a hard division. All you got to do is go 8-8. Alex Smith won't lose any games for you. They got a good defensive line. Remember, they lost a kid, got hurt 2 years ago. They took the Alabama kid this year. They got 2 good defensive line, Jonathan Allen and the Alabama kid. I can see, and plus it's a plus. I can see the Redskins. This is casually now. This is not studying this and going through the teams or schedules. Arizona over. That's 1. Giants over is 2. I can see Denver over 3. Houston over 4. I could see the Raiders under 8. I could see Seattle under 8. Redskins over 7. First impressions. We'll do an Arizona look and their quarterback situation with Bob McKinnon, who covers them in the Arizona Republic. Stick with us.